There is still a ton of uncertainty about what programs specifically would be cut and which ones would still be funded.
Tonight, KRON 4's Dan Kerman joins us live in the studio. He has a reaction to the Trump plan from Bay Area legislators and legal experts. Dan.
Well, as you mentioned, it has been a day of chaos with many not knowing if their program or their funds would be affected. And then at 2 p.m., everything came to a stop when a federal judge put the brakes on all of this. Tonight, we're getting reaction on the Trump plan from Bay Area legislators and legal experts. President Trump's attempt to freeze federal assistance while the administration reviews whether the spending is in line with the president's ideology comes as no surprise to Democrats in Congress.
We clearly have a president that is determined to basically destroy the way in which the United States government and the states and the citizens of this country have interacted over the last century.
And while the freeze is now on hold, if lifted, East Bay Congressman John Garamendi says the implications are severe.
Many of the healthcare programs, the research programs at UCSF and UC Berkeley and beyond are frozen. We know that Head Start is maybe not frozen. We know that the food, supplemental food programs, the WIC programs, infant and children programs, frozen. The energy conservation programs in the Inflation Reduction Act, the climate crisis legislation, frozen. Many of the highway projects, frozen.
What is clear to Democrats in Congress is the president's actions are outside the law.
President Trump can review all he wants. And if he has recommendations, he can come to the Congress to make changes, propose changes to the law. But what he's doing here is wrong and illegal.
The first lawsuit filed by the National Council of Nonprofits has already led a federal judge to block the Trump administration's freeze, at least until Monday, when lawyers on both sides will present arguments.
A strong constitutional argument that the president is acting unconstitutionally is that the president has a constitutional duty to faithfully execute the laws, and that it is Congress in the Constitution that is given the power to raise money through taxes and to spend money, not the president. President Trump's argument will be, and this will be reminiscent of the immunity case that we saw last summer, it will be the president has to have the constitutional authority to act vigorously and energetically and quickly. And this was an absolute necessity to freeze these funds because I got a mandate in the election.
Legal experts say the president is unlikely to win this lawsuit and may face others ahead.
The order reads like an ideological screed of his inaugural speech. And if funding is stopped based on ideological views, that is a First Amendment problem and a very serious one. And that will be challenged.
Now, again, this court order putting the brakes on the freeze of spending is on hold, at least until a hearing on Monday. In the studio, I'm Dan Kerman. Grant, Vicki, back to you.
All right, thank you, Dan.